We want you to know that this is coming from both sides. There are terrible people involved in these discussions. You have Charlie Kirk, who has been funded by Turning Point USA, which is the Koch brothers' little pet project that they turned into something very big over the past decade plus. And this is what Charlie Kirk has to say regarding Muslims.
The question is macro Islam compatible with Western values? Macro. Of course it's not. There are three major reasons why. Islam does not believe in freedom of speech.
Since when?
Let him get a little further. Okay.
Islam does not believe in freedom of religion, and Islam does not believe in separation of mosque and state. Those three things are antithetical to the West. In a Muslim majority country, most Muslim majority countries, you cannot criticize the Prophet Muhammad. In most Muslim majority countries, you do not have the same robust freedom of religion protections. And finally, whereas we in the West are very careful to try to intermix religion and state, they are commanded.
We are? I am sitting here and everything that's coming out of his mouth is how I think of as like evangelical Christian shit that goes on in this country, where they don't care about free speech and they don't care about freedom of religion. They want prayer in schools and they don't want to hear certain things about gays or whatever they think might not be according to their values. How dare he sit here and say that it's Muslims that cannot get along with the concepts of free speech and free religion. I have yet to see a situation in this country where any sort of thing about wanting to impose your religious dogma nonsense on my child has come from the Muslim community. It's always from the Christian, right? Like evangelical, whatever aspect that is. It's always from that. I have not once seen a Muslim community trying to impose their religion on other people or banning other people's speech. So he's talking about what happens in their country and how they run their own government. Why is that his concern? Why is that his concern? What they do in other countries. And by the way, we're pretty friggin' authoritarian here now too. We're rounding people up off the streets that are citizens and sending them away. So I don't know what country he's living in, but to sit there and say that somehow Muslims are not compatible with the West. No. And I have got to just say it, Charlie, the West, us, we are not compatible with the rest of the world. And there's way more of them. That's the thing. Yeah. That's the thing. The caucasity of this man.
To actually go into the state and try to change the state to be more Islamic around the core pillars of Islam. And the last thing I'll finally say is I cannot see a single Western country that has become more Islamic and has become a better place to live that is happier or freer.
By what metric? Just happiness, quality of life?
Everything from quality of life, from cultural cohesion, from whether people want to live there, prior to the native-born fertility rates.
Again, people watching this will say is your criticism of the religion itself or not Muslim people? Because there are British Muslims who have been born there.
You don't have to caveat it all the time. I know you guys have to because you're British and all that. A culture.
What? I mean, honestly, that's...
He's such a piece of shit.
You know, that's the type of thing that a Brit can get away with saying about an American. American talking to a Brit like they're some pseudo-intellectual. No, the Brits chastise and laugh at us because our formal education is dick compared to theirs.
And he's giving a prime example of it. Right now, you all are getting a master class in what is our education system here. And he probably went to really good schools, right? Didn't Charlie Kirk go to like good schools?
Total private trust. I mean, I don't know the whole extent.
And yet he's a complete ignoramus. So he's sitting here talking about what Muslim do and what that religion does. And so far, every single thing that he has said is stuff that is done by Christians and the Christian right, and that is pushed by them. I don't know where he's living, but
this is a prime example of the worst kind of American exceptionalism. That's what it is. Oh, you guys, you think you know this, you think you know that. Well, they know more than you. That's kind of how it is.
Ceases to exist when we don't have unified language, when you cannot talk to your neighbor. I'm not discounting that there are good individual Muslims. The question that we need to reckon with the West is Mohammedism compatible with the...
What is Mohammedism? He just made that up.
The level of it. Well, here's the thing, Charlie. There are 3 Abrahamic religions, 3 of them. And interestingly, the latest one, being Islam, actually recognizes, honors, and incorporates the other 2. See, so what you're asking is, are Muslims, do they live, that they somehow are not compatible, but yet they live in the most Christ-like manner of anyone that I know? Practicing Muslims are, I mean, to the fault of being square. And so I don't know who he's talking about, that's not compatible. They incorporate Christianity and a lot of aspects of that because they view Jesus as a prophet, just like they view Muhammad as the last prophet. So you're so ignorant. It's totally ignorant.
It's not just that he's ignorant, it's that he's playing a role. He's pretending to be the difference between somebody like Charlie Kirk and somebody like Ben Shapiro is a true believer. Like, he's a total Zionist psychopath. Charlie Kirk he's just a whore. Like, he's such a whore in the worst way. Like, there is nothing he will not say for that money. And when you build an empire like he has with Turning Point USA, who in the hell do you think is funding that organization? Well, we're going to finish out what Charlie has to say, and then we are going to show you guys exactly who is funding Turning Point USA. You're going to get a kick out of that.
Teachings of Blackstone. Is it compatible with the legacy of Wilberforce?
All right.
And the great thinkers that have come from this country? And I will say, no, there's a reason why when you go to these Islamic countries, that you're not going to see the equal protection of rights, that you do not believe in universal human equality, that you do not believe the same things that we believe in the West. And I think it's suicidal to import millions of them.
Yeah, and you know what?
You're a fucking moron. Do you know why you don't see those things? They had those things. A lot of those countries had those things at different eras, Charlie. But what happened is that white people came in, the West came in, dominated them, overthrew democratically elected people, took over and turned their countries into our war zones. See, that's what happened. See, people in that region were doing math, Charlie, when your people were like still plasma. You fucking moron. I just can't. The caucasity.
And he's stupid on purpose.
Just on a passing point on that, it's most of the time, as far as I'm concerned, it's not even multicultural. Because there was an example there was a school a few months ago during Easter which cancelled Easter celebrations out of respect for other faiths. So it's not as if the word multicultural and multi-diverse doesn't include Christianity.
No, and again, this is the red-green axis, and Britain is at the forefront of this. You have the Marxists that have infiltrated your government and the Islamists that are coming to your country. And when they combine together, they both agree on one thing. They have huge disagreements on a lot. They hate the West, and they want to see it broken.
Okay, we're finished.
Yeah, we're finished.
Charlie.
We're finished, all right.
No. Oppressed people that are tired of Western hegemony and white supremacy, they want to see our time end as being that hegemony. Yes, they probably do feel that way. But it isn't because they hate our life. A lot of these people that you're talking about want to be here and live here. I don't know what you are so ignorant.
No, that's ignorant. That's ignorant.
Make him go away.
So if you're wondering, and I'm sure a lot of you are.
Yeah, Marxist. By the way, Charlie, we're already here. We're here.
Yeah. So his organization, Turning Point USA, which has paid him very handsomely for many years. I don't know what his salary is, although I would imagine that it's pretty sizable, to say the least. These are the variety of different people that fund this organization. Turning Point Action Incorporated, Phoenix, Arizona, $300,000. Richard Kurtz, Englewood Cliffs, New Jersey, Rights Impact Window and Door, $250,000. Turning Point USA Action in Phoenix again, $250,000. John Childs of Vero Beach. Hey, right up the road, Jen. J.W. Childs. I wonder if that has to do with the J.W. Marriott Association. It might. $100,000. Turning Point USA Action again, $100,000. Michael Ryden, the heavy construction system specialist, $95,000.
What do all these things have in common? Like, what's the common
Yes.
denominator here of these donors?
Corporate special interests.
Of
Heavy.
course. Well, who did you think he was fighting for the people? Did you think Charlie Kirk was out there fighting for the least of these?
It just goes on. And this is just one nonprofit, if you will, within this big industrial complex.
Here we go. Exactly.
Mhm.
Thank you.
We have
That's
said
my point.
from our personal experience, and I believe this, the best experience I've ever had inside what you would call a house of worship is a mosque, period. And the way that they treat people as equals within those walls, I think, is what separates the Muslims from the other Abrahamic religions. With that said, there is also something to be addressed regarding the fact that Islam does not prioritize capitalism the way that Judeo-Christian values do.